The German send-off, my trip to Germany, it was finally here, 3 whole weeks. Wow, I imagined lederhosen, giant pretzels. My wife Sarah seemed fine, a little fine maybe, like she had secret plans, big ones. Or maybe just plans to watch all those crime shows, the ones I really don't like. I packed my bags, kissed her goodbye. Don't burn the house down, I joked. Little did I know, folks, little did I know. The first few days in Germany, great, work was busy, but good busy. Our video calls were pretty normal. Sarah was, well, Sarah, then she mentioned it, trying a new bread recipe. Sounded harmless, right? Totally harmless. Wrong. Oh, so very wrong. I was busy in meetings. German efficiency, you know? They schedule everything, even their bathroom breaks. Probably. I was totally clueless. Trouble was brewing back home. Then the texts started. They were a bit unclear. Secret even. Having an adventure in the kitchen, she'd type. This was followed by a blurry photo. Something was bubbling. In a bowl. Was it good bubbling or bad science experiment bubbling? Who knew? Not me. I'd reply, looks interesting, love you. The time difference made it all a fun guessing game. My spidey senses, or maybe just my husband's senses, were tingling, and our dog, Buster. He's a beagle. Normally super chill, loves naps. But he started showing up in our video calls. He'd just stare, right into the camera. A long, serious beagle stare, like he was trying to tell me something. Send help, his eyes screamed. She's gone crazy. The dog food is in danger. I'd just laugh it off. Ah, Buster misses me, I'd say. Oh, if only I knew then. He wasn't just missing me. He was watching the start of a new, slightly scary time in our house. So the sourdough incident. Oh boy, folks, where do I even start? Sarah decided out of the blue she was going to be a sourdough expert. That's what she said. An expert. She watched one YouTube video. Just one. She got all the fancy flours. The special starter. She even named the starter Dolores. Cute, right? She was so proud, so excited. She sent me a picture of Dolores bubbling away. It's alive! She texted with like 10 exclamation points. It was definitely alive, and maybe planning something. Then came the big baking day, or as I now call it, the great Epsom salt disaster. She reached for the salt, ready to season. But folks, she didn't grab the regular table salt. Oh no, she grabbed the giant family-sized bag of Epsom salts. You know the stuff for relaxing baths? That stuff. She thought it was fancy expert salt, her words. The bread, she later told me while laughing and crying, smelled spa-like. Not in a good, relaxing way, more like a yeasty foot bath. Buster refused to even go near it. Smart dog. After the bread disaster, Sarah declared, gluten is the enemy! And just like that, suddenly we were on a new path. A raw vegan path. Oh yes, she bought a juicer. A very, very loud juicer. Our video calls were now filled with the sound of kale being tortured. She'd hold up these bright green drinks. It's a detox! She'd beam, looking slightly green herself. I'd nod enthusiastically. Looks super healthy, honey, good for you. Meanwhile, I was eating schnitzel. Delicious gluten-filled schnitzel. The fridge became a weird science experiment. Things were growing in there. Things were fermenting. Not in the cool, hipster kombucha way. That came later, spoiler alert. But more in the, is that supposed to be fuzzy kind of way? She showed me a bowl of what she called activated nuts. They looked less activated and more scared, like they'd seen things. Buster, our smart beagle, started hiding his dog food under the sofa. He knew, he just knew. The kitchen, once my happy place for late-night snacks, was quickly becoming a dangerous zone. I was worried about my cereal. The raw vegan phase, it got serious, really serious. Beetroot juice became her favorite drink, her life force. Everything, and I mean, was stained bright pink. The countertops, her hands, her teeth sometimes. Even Buster, our poor innocent beagle, had a suspicious pink tinge on his paws once. She claimed it was incredibly energizing. Superpower juice. She looked more like a character from a vampire movie, but a very happy one. I feel so raw, she'd exclaim, eyes wide. I bet, honey, I just bet you do. You certainly looked raw. Then came the knitting. This was a new thing. To calm her stomach, she said, apparently all that raw fiber was causing rumbles. Stomach noises, if you will. So, she took up knitting. Seriously, like it was a competition. She wasn't knitting cute scarves or warm sweaters. Oh no. She was knitting what looked like strange sea creatures. Or maybe abstract stomach warmers. It was really hard to tell. The yarn was everywhere, tangled messes of it. Buster, bless his heart, thought it was a new collection of very confusing chew toys. He'd proudly show me a half-destroyed yarn octopus during our calls. Her clothes also changed a lot. pants, jeans. Too restrictive for a raw vegan knitting expert, apparently. She started living, and I mean in her fluffy white bathrobe. At first it was kind of cute, cozy, you know? But 3 weeks is a long, long time for one bathrobe to be worn all the time. Especially when beetroot juice is your main drink. It started looking less luxurious spa day and more survivor of a tomato fight. It was a well-loved, worn-out bathrobe. A veteran. Buster, our furry little buddy, really embraced the weirdness. He adapted. He started carrying around one of her strange knitted creations, like it was his baby, his precious, lumpy yarn baby. He'd howl softly at it, little sad coos. Maybe he was trying to teach it to fetch or comfort it, or maybe he was just as confused as I was getting watching from far away. Our video calls were now me, Sarah in her changing bathrobe, let's call it distressed chic, and Buster singing to a bright orange lumpy piece of yarn. Germany, with its order and sausages, was starting to feel very, very normal. And safe. The day I came home, oh the sweet excitement, I missed her so much, I missed Buster, I even strangely missed the idea of her questionable, adventurous cooking. I walked in the door. The smell hit me first, it was unique. A complex mix, if you will. A delicate blend of old vegetables, damp yarn, and a little bit of Epsom salts, like a ghost from that fateful baking day. And then, a new smell, a faint, tangy smell of kombucha. Yes, folks, she'd started brewing kombucha, of course she had. The house was a beautiful mess, a creative explosion. Yarn tentacles reached out from the sofa like a friendly craft monster. The kitchen counters were covered in jars, jars with strange, floating, alien-like discs. Scobies, I learned. The famous bathrobe was draped over a chair looking like it had been through a war and won. Buster greeted me, tail wagging so hard his whole body wiggled, but he also gave me a look, a serious look. A look that said, "You have no idea, man, you just have no idea what I've seen." He then proudly gave me a half-eaten, slightly slimy carrot, a welcome home gift. Sarah came out of the kitchen, smiling, glowing, still in a bathrobe, a different, slightly cleaner one, thank goodness. She hugged me tight, a real big hug. "Welcome home, I made kombucha," she announced proudly, pointing to a particularly bubbly jar. It looked alive, seriously alive, like it might crawl out. And you know what? In that moment, surrounded by the delightful chaos, the weird, wonderful smells, the half-knitted sea creatures watching from the shelves, all I felt was pure, complete relief. And a whole lot of love. This was my home, my wonderfully weird home. She had turned into a human kombucha, a beautifully fermented, slightly unpredictable, but ultimately wonderful version of herself. My Sarah. My amazing, creative, slightly chaotic Sarah. And I wouldn't have her, or our life, any other way. As I unpacked, my clothes smelling faintly of sauerkraut and German pretzels, I told her, "Next work trip you're coming with me, no question. Germany needs to experience the full Sarah and her kombucha starter kit." She just smiled, that brilliant smile of hers. And Buster? He finally relaxed, probably dreaming of a world without aggressive juicing. And maybe, just maybe, a world with more unattended sausages.